Tracy Morgan is back, baby. We talk with the stars of the hit show, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins. Already feel like you need a vacation from this week? We're going to Hawaii with Gabe Saglier. Dunna, dunna, dunna. We've got a really cool prize to give away from the Super Mario Galaxy. Colorado and Company starts right now.
Portions of Colorado and Company contain paid content.
Gonna get you through the day.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us this Monday morning. I am Kelly in for Tory. Let's picture it. It's a nice spring evening, and you're walking around the Denver Zoo Conservation Alliance, checking out the animals and the lights. Well, now we can make it a reality during Glowing Wild. I am so excited for this. The Director of Public Relations, Jake, is here to tell us all about it. Hi, Jake. Thanks for coming back with us.
Good to be here.
We are so excited to have you here. So first off, congrats on the second year of Glowing Wild. Okay, so I didn't get to make it last year. Tell me what I'm missing out on.
You're missing out on a lot, and
Okay.
you're missing out on what has become one of the most popular events of the year. So Glowing Wild is this amazing lantern experience, evening experience. We have about 175 lanterns, most of them much bigger than my butterfly friend here. But it just lights up the campus and really connects with people with the natural world in a whole different way.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the animals. That is so cool. Okay, since this happens at night, are the animals awake, the real animals, or are they like snoozing away?
It depends on, I mean, every species is different. We have 3,000 amazing wild animals at the zoo, so you will probably get to see a lot of actual real animals while you're there too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, as you go through Glowing Wild, you experience different parts of the globe. So tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, so as you're walking through, we have different scenes. So there's about 60 different scenes that represent different parts of the world. So you
Okay.
walk through and you might kind of go through a Colorado landscape where we have moose and elk and deer. Then you turn the corner and all of a sudden you're in the tropical highlands of Asia, and then you're in
Cool.
Africa. So you kind of just get this little tour of the world.
And the kids
As you
can
go.
learn while they're there, right?
Yeah, you learn. We have a lot of really fun interactive pieces for kids too, which is great.
Do the lights relate to each area? Like, how does that work? Okay,
Yeah,
tell me more about
so,
that.
So there are all these amazing hand-built lanterns. So we work with an amazing group of Chinese artisans. They come in and build these lanterns that reflect both the flora and fauna from different regions of the world.
Okay, what would you say is the age range for this? Like, can I bring my 6-year-old nephew?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I've
cool.
got a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. They love it, and their hot take is they actually like it more than zoo lights.
What?
Which is, yep, that's our long-standing event. So,
Right.
So there is an opinion that this might even be better than zoo lights. Don't take it from me.
Wow, bold statement there, guys. Okay, so one thing I want to bring up, the Denver Zoo Conservation Alliance, you guys are so inclusive. I heard you have a sensory-friendly night. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this is something we're really proud of. So we do this with all of our special events, including zoo lights, Glowing Wild, and our fall events. So this is something for families who have sensory processing problems where they're not able to handle the lights, the noise. So there's a special night where we really lower the capacity, the number of people, the tickets we sell, turn down the lights, turn down the music, and really create an opportunity for families who may otherwise not be able to partake in these kinds of things.
Right, that is wonderful. Okay, let's say I like to have an adult beverage from time to time. We want to leave the kids at home. Is there a special adults night?
Yeah, we have 2 adults nights as part of Glowing Wild. I personally think that the zoo, our campus, is one of the coolest venues in the state.
Yeah.
I love it, and especially for evening adult-only events. So if you do need a break from the kids, it's a great date night spot, great friend group, get the girls together, get the guys together. It's really fun.
Tell me a little bit more about the drinks. Are there drinks, cocktails, food? What else can we get there?
Everything, yeah. So we have a food passport you can buy that includes kind of a little tour of different areas where we have different food and drinks. We create a custom menu of both food and beverages for this event. And then we've just got great beer selection, all sorts of things. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Level with me here. What's your favorite part if you had to pick? And I know it's tough, but let's say you have to pick.
Okay. I love, we have this giant moose, which is new for this year. It's like 60 feet wide and about 30 or 40 feet tall. There it is in the background.
Oh my goodness.
That is an incredible scene. And as it gets darker, everything starts to light up more, and it's incredible.
Okay, how long does it take to walk through the whole thing? Let's say some parents have a time crunch with their kids and have to get them to bed. How long does it take?
I mean, you can stay there as long as you like, but
Okay,
I would
kinda
say,
set your own pace.
about an hour is kind of the minimum to really experience everything. But a lot of people like to kind of linger, have food and drinks, really see everything, do all the experiences, see some animals.
Perfect.
So yeah, you can spend a
As
good
much or
couple-
as little time as you want.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. So let's say you're a planner like me. Do we have to reserve tickets or can we just walk up?
You should reserve your tickets in
Okay.
advance. These are select evenings into early May, so they're pretty low capacity, and the tickets will sell out on certain nights, especially weekends. So I would definitely recommend, for a number of reasons, to buy them ahead of time.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us, Jake. Glowing Wild is happening select nights at the Denver Zoo, Conservation Alliance, now through May 10th. You can get tickets now at denverzoo.org. But wait a minute, I have a family 4-pack of tickets to give away. All you have to do is enter now by sending an email to mycoco@9news.com. Just put the word glowing in the subject line. The winner will be chosen at random and contacted later. Good luck. It's National Puppy Day, so let's share some puppy love. Lifeline Puppy Rescue is here in just a few minutes. But first, the island of Oahu is a vibrant destination with rich history, but there's also a lot of buzz right now, especially around Waikiki. Ooh. Earlier, Tory talked with our travel guy, Gabe Saglier, all about it. Aloha.
All right, Gabe, a lot of people are starting to plan for their summer travel, which I'm really excited about. Why do you think this is a landmark year to go to the islands? And I could go every year, but why this year?
Yeah. Aloha, Tory from beautiful Oahu and the Moana Surfrider Resort. And listen, first of all, breaking news, because January numbers are just in, and visitor numbers to Oahu year over year up 15%. Visitor spend up 21%. So I'm thinking the stage is set for a landmark year. If you've not been here in a while, come on down to Oahu in 2026. But the buzz on the ground certainly is about this beautiful property, the Moana Surfrider Resort, which celebrates 125 years this year, her quasi-quicentennial, the quasi-quicentennial of the Moana Surfrider. And, you know, before she opened her doors on March 11th of 1901, there were a couple of bungalows on the beach, but really this is the resort that ushered in the modern era of luxury travel to Hawaii. Victorian elegance, contemporary creature comforts on an enviable location on the gentle shores of Waikiki Beach. And she has remained a lure for travelers who want to tap that magical aloha spirit ever since. So as we head toward March 11th of this year, it's going to be a big day here, a butterfly release, a traditional Hawaiian blessing, time capsule opening, and of course, celebrations are going to continue into the rest of the year. I want to bring in Thomas Foti, who's the general manager, the big boss here at the property, the man who always has a Mai Tai in hand. And Thomas, your thoughts on this major landmark event? It's major for the hotel and for the island.
Truly, I mean, it's a milestone anniversary both for Hawaii and for travelers all over the world who have descended upon the Moana Surfrider for many, many years. There are so many people that have tremendous personal, emotional connections to the Moana Surfrider. It's so exciting for all of us, truly.
And we're talking to the beautiful folks in Denver, Colorado. This is a major market for you.
It's a huge market for us. There are actually 2 flights per day from Denver into Honolulu. If I'm not mistaken, right now it's about 40 degrees in Denver, so the weather in Honolulu would be admirable for the folks to come out and take a visit for sure.
The water temp is 76 degrees, so I'm thinking you're absolutely right. All right, Thomas, thanks very much.
Thank you.
It's after 5 a.m. here on Honolulu, and the big man is already on property. So, you know, everybody's on their best behavior, as you can imagine.
Amazing. Okay, I do want to ask you, how do you think it keeps its historic Victorian soul, but keeping itself a luxury travel experience?
Yeah. Great question, because I think it's all about striking that balance, right? Offering a modern luxury experience, but really still staying true to those historic, nostalgic roots. First of all, on the luxury front, it's all about these multi-million-dollar renovations that are being introduced, revealed as part of this 125th anniversary. This iconic lobby that has welcomed VIPs for decades, totally lightened up now. Airy, breezy, very sexy place to hang out. And the rooms, there are close to 800 rooms and suites here at the Moana Surfrider across 3 different wings. They've all been reimagined, inspired by the colors of the sun and the ocean and the sand and the seaweed. So again, very airy and all with this beautiful oceanfront location. But across these modern sort of luxury upgrades, those classic nostalgic experiences still reign supreme. So the afternoon tea on the veranda, if you've been here before, you know this is an iconic part of the Moana Surfrider experience. Sitting on the Victorian veranda, looking out at Waikiki Beach, enjoying some of the best food on the island. You know, 70% of all the food served here on property comes from the island, and that's huge. And of course, spa experiences. You know, we love to come to Hawaii to disconnect, to rejuvenate, to relax. And the Moana Lani Spa here on property, the only oceanfront spa in all of Waikiki Beach. Some of the other experiences that people love, the flower lei making classes, those morning meditation sessions, and historical tours that are guided across property every single day.
Oh, that's beautiful. Man, I got to get out of Denver and get myself into there. Okay, let me ask you about some of the historical spots. The banyan tree. Tell me a little bit about that, because that is just world famous.
So there she is, by the way. Her name is Deva, and this has been a sort of a classic part of the Moana Surf Rider experience ever since she was planted in 1904. And she was a wee 7-foot Indian banyan back in 1904. Now she stands tall at 75 feet, 150 feet across, shade by day, and as starlight filters through the leaves at night, a beautiful romantic place to hang out. People, VIPs who have hung out at the foot of Deva over the decades include celebrities like Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, of course, trailblazers like Amelia Earhart, Agatha Christie, and Ernest Hemingway. So this is clearly, across the board, a series of iconic, legendary milestones when it comes to not just the experience here on property, but across this very famous stretch of beach on the island of Oahu.
Amazing. Now, I've been to Oahu. I really appreciate it. But let's say I'm a first-time goer. Any tips for a new timer in Waikiki?
Okay, this is like the kind of thing that Oahu has to offer you if you've not been here before or not been here in a long time. First of all, as you know, it's all about the surf culture, right? Because Waikiki Beach is known as the contemporary birthplace of surfing. So whether it's you surfing or whether you're watching the throngs of people trying to hang 10 and catch that perfect wave, surfing reign supreme. If you've ever surfed before and you want to like have that first surf lesson, Waikiki Beach would be the place to do that. Beyond the surfing, of course, it's all about the ocean environment because we've got 125 miles of pristine coastline around Oahu and no fewer than 20 public beaches right here in Honolulu. Although I got to say, Waikiki Beach probably the best of them all. Perfect place to catch a sunset any night of the week. Inland, by the way, gosh, the landscape here is so lush and so beautiful. This is Kualoa Ranch, a 4,000-acre private nature reserve, a working cattle ranch now. But you can actually take these sort of Hollywood-inspired tours here because this is where movies like Jumanji, Jurassic Park, that classic show back in the day, Lost, would have been filmed here because these landscapes are so gorgeous. And then culture is big here. You know, this is a property like this, and certainly the culture here is about embracing Hawaiian history and respecting that history. Iolani Palace, not far from here. This was the residence of the last two monarchs of the Hawaiian kingdom. And of course, the Bishop Museum, the largest museum in all of Hawaii with more than 25 million artifacts showcasing Polynesian and Hawaiian culture and history. So whether it's inspired by Mother Nature or Hawaiian history and culture, so much to do out here, as you know.
Oh my gosh. All right, Gabe, take care. Hang 10, hang an 11. That's what you should do. And aloha. Thank you so much.
That's what I might do.
Yeah, there you go.
Cheers.
Thanks, Gabe.
Mahalo.
How fun to plan your next trip to Waikiki. All you have to do is go to moanasurfrider.com. They sponsored today's segment. Okay, I promised you earlier, we're celebrating National Puppy Day the right way, with puppies, duh. Lifeline Puppy Rescue is here next. See you soon. Oh, you're so sweet. Today might be the best day ever. Why do you ask? It's National Puppy Day. That means it's the perfect day to expand your family with a new furry friend. We've got Scott here. Hi, Scott. Hello. He's the Director of Outreach for Lifeline Puppy Rescue. We are so happy you're back here with us. He's got lots of tips for new puppy owners, which is huge. That's a really hard part about getting a dog. So it can be super overwhelming. It's exciting. I decided to get a puppy as a single woman. It was pretty crazy. Let's say someone out there is ready to adopt. What should they consider in the adoption process?
You know, I'm glad that you asked that because that's a very important thing because they're made cute just like babies. You know, we will put up with them. But you really want to think about like what your lifestyle is. What's going to be, you know, in 5, 10, 15 years? Because the puppy's going to be with you a long time. How it's going to do, you know, what kind of breed you're looking for. Are you going to be traveling a lot, taking it places and that kind of stuff? So you just want to kind of be prepared and know what you're looking for and also understand that not just just the time commitment and that kind of stuff, but financially.
Right.
It's a big financial commitment as well. So
It really
just make sure that
is.
you're ready when
Make
you are
sure you're
doing
ready
this.
for that. Okay, let's say they find the perfect puppy,
Yes.
they're ready to bring them home. What are some things people don't think about?
You know, so I always like to say, get down on the puppy's eye level. So they're about this little, little. So get down on the floor, kind of see what kind of things they're going to get in trouble. Plants are dangerous to dogs.
Right.
So make sure that all your plants are dog friendly and that kind of stuff, or move them up where they can't get them. But it's the little stuff, because puppies are meant to just do that, chew things and be cute.
Yeah, be puppies.
And so you just want to kind of get in their perspective and see how things are going to be going.
Okay, we all know the first 48 hours after bringing our new furry friend home can be the hardest.
Yes.
What survival tips can you give us for our new puppy parents?
So those first 48 hours can kind of be a little challenging. So I always tell people those first, day at least, don't invite everybody over. Kind of let the puppy get into that routine. Let it kind of get used to everything.
Right.
And then also start utilizing that crate right away. It's a good thing. It's not a punishment. And then also, as we were mentioning that routine, puppies thrive in a routine. So going potty, taking them out to do that, bringing them in for food, and then putting them back
Right.
in the kennel really, really helps. So that routine in that first little bit is a huge help.
We've got Chrissy over here helping us with the puppies. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let's move on to socializing.
Yes.
For some people who might not know how to do that, how do they go about doing that?
So socializing is not just like taking the dog out and meeting other dogs. It's also about taking it to different environments, right?
Right.
So letting it see like a garbage truck roll by, taking it so it can have experience grass, tile floor, and that kind of stuff.
Super smart.
And then when you do it, you want to have a high value treat. So if they do get scared, that you can give it to them.
Right.
And so what we consider like a high value treat is, so like a milk bone would be like a dollar in a dog's turn.
Okay.
But like a hot dog would be like $100.
Oh, okay, that
so
makes
the
perfect
more
sense.
you pay them, the more they're going to want to do stuff. So
Right.
if you take them in those environments, just try to remember to bring them a good treat.
One thing I did with Dolly Parton is I had YouTube videos playing of fireworks sounds and vacuum sounds when she was a puppy, and she is not scared of either now.
That is so huge. This
Right?
is why we love bringing them things like this, because
Exactly, so
it
they can
gets them
get out
used
in the
to,
environment.
Yep.
Okay, I know someone watching is inspired after seeing these cuties. Do you have any special adoption events coming up?
We do. This coming March 28th and 29th, we have a huge adoption event. So these guys are all going to be there. They're a group of 10. So I'm going to imagine we're going to have close to 50 puppies going out for
Oh my
adoption. So if you're in the
goodness.
market, come, check us out.
Now's
We
the
also have
time.
a lot of other stuff going on. We always have puppy yogas going on and fundraisers. So if you're not in the market, at least you can come and get your puppy fixed that way.
Right. Okay, let's say someone's watching and they're not quite ready to take that step of adopting, but they still want to help Lifeline Puppy Rescue. What can they do?
We need so much help. It really does take a village to take care of these babies. So we're always looking for fosters, volunteers. You wouldn't imagine how much an old tied up sock would bring to the puppy, how
Right.
much joy it will bring them. So even simple toys like that. And right now we're in the process of opening a new facility. So one of our weird kind of needs is we need help with like landscaping and stuff.
Okay, great. That's what I was going to ask. Where are you guys located right now? And then
Yeah.
where's the new facility going to be?
So it's actually on our campus. We're lucky enough that we have a 3-acre campus.
Great.
We just put a new 16 kennel building on there that's going to help us expand our capacity. And we're in Brighton, so we're open every Saturday and Sunday where people can come meet the puppies. So this weekend, get your fix on this Monday, seeing them, and then come adopt them this weekend.
Yay, Scott and Chrissy, thank you so much for being here with us today and bringing these little puppies. Oh, he's ready to go. He's like, I'm ready to be adopted. If you're looking to add a new friend to your life, check out the Big Puppy Adoption Event. That's at Lifeline Puppy Rescue. Again, that's happening this Saturday and Sunday. You can learn more at lifelinepuppy.org. Estate planning isn't just for the wealthy, and it's not just about death. Next on Colorado and Company, we chat with Skipton Law about how to protect your family the right way.
The following interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.
Many people say, Tory, I've got my estate planning documents in place, but what they don't realize is that life changes and also, and this could be more important, laws change. And sometimes documents that you created years ago, they may not work the way you expect them to, and that's not good to find out in the moment. So I have Skip Reynolds here, owner and attorney at Skipton Law. He's joining us to talk about why keeping your estate plan up to date is just as important as creating one in the first place. So Skip, good to see you.
Yes, thanks so much for having me here.
Absolutely, you're vital to our viewers right now. At Skipton Law, you often meet with people who say, look, dude, they're not calling you dude, but we already did our estate plan. What are you finding when you review those older documents?
So, we find a number of things. I think one of the big things that we find is that they're dated. What I mean by that is they've done them 5, 10 or more years in the past.
Yeah.
And,
do they expire?
So technically the answer is no, but there are some financial institutions that if your financial power of attorney or your general power of attorney is what it's sometimes called, is over, say, 5 years old, the bank might not accept it.
Oh, wow.
They think, oh, well, maybe Tory changed her mind, and so therefore we're not going to accept it. Under the law, it technically doesn't say that, but you can run into that roadblock. So it may be dated. It may not even have the new statute stuff in it because it is so dated.
Sure.
AARP says we update our plans about every 20 years. A lot can change over a 20-year time frame. So, it being dated, it could be that you have the wrong people now.
Right, like you don't even know who you had in the first place.
Right. So even, for example, this morning I met with somebody where now the husband's not as capable and she needs to update her plan to make sure that she has her daughter as her power of attorney instead of her husband because he couldn't handle it any longer.
Yes. This is so important. I had a mom who was really medically compromised, and this was so important in our family to make sure we knew who and what was in charge at the hospital. So you mentioned that also, this is important, having documents doesn't guarantee they'll actually work when you need them to. So what are some common issues you're running into?
One of the things that we run into a lot is you can go find these things in so many places, right? You can go to the internet, you can go to different various stores around town, and you can get it free or close to free. And you think just because you have this document that says, say, power of attorney, or it says will
it looks important,
right?
Yeah, right.
That you have what you need. But one of the things that I find a lot when we review people's documents when they come in and they have them is that, in particular, the financial power of attorney, there's a whole section of it that needs to be initialed as to whether you want to grant these powers. And what I find is most people, if they don't understand what it is around their money, they're not willing to give away that power. But what we find in our office is that often those are the powers we need to do some of the, I'll say, fun and fancy stuff to try to protect their estate from things like probate, taxes,
I was gonna say taxes,
and long-term care costs.
I got you.
And if you don't have those things initialed, now your power of attorney can't do those things unless the individual is still capable mentally to sign a new document.
Got it. Wow, that is vitally important. So it's the details that are going to fall through the cracks.
Correct.
Okay, so you talk about 3 key parts of estate planning. Walk us through those 3.
So the 3 key parts is, number one, you got to have something in writing. Right? Powers of attorney, wills, maybe a trust, depending on your family scenario and what you're looking for. But then that's just part 1. Part 2 is integration of your assets. Doesn't matter how big or small your estate may be. We've got bank accounts. We probably have a retirement account, like a 401k or IRA.
IRA or something, yeah.
We might have life insurance. We might have real estate. How does that integrate with what we just put in writing?
I see.
Because you could have the perfect writing and poor integration, and now your plan's not going to work out exactly the way you want. In fact, there was a study done, it's a little bit dated now, but out of 100 estate plans, only 4 work out exactly right.
Is that right? And you think you have it all done?
Correct.
Wow.
And it's because of poor integration.
Sure.
But actually, the third piece is kind of a combo of the first 2. It's maintenance. It's maintaining the document and up to speed, the way you want it, up to date with the law, et cetera, but then keeping your assets integrated as you move forward. You change jobs, you buy a new house, you get divorced, you have more children, whatever that might be. If you're not doing these 2 in a maintenance fashion, you will potentially blow up your plan.
Wow. And if someone gets sick or something as well, that's really important.
Correct.
Good thing to know. One thing that stands out about Skipton Law is how personal your approach is, and you really get to know not only the people, but their families and the client relationship is so important. Why is that important to you?
It's really important to me because of my why.
Yeah.
My why of doing what I do. I've had the experience twice in my life where my grandmother, I think, has drawn me down a path. And I watched while I was away at college, my family go through a crisis with a lot of the things that we talk about in our office. And my why is, how do we help more families have more control, more protection, more options when life takes that right-hand turn that you're not expecting, and you're not in crisis, or if you are in crisis, you at least have a plan in place to deal with it. Whereas my family I watched didn't. And it ended up with my grandparents being separated by the whole city here in Denver.
Wow.
At the end of their lives, because we were hoping things were going to work out.
Right, and you don't want to hope. What a motivation for you. I also just want to say, once you're in crisis, your brain can't handle, you want it to be set before, like preventative, before you have the crisis.
Absolutely, and I think sometimes if you don't have the proper things in place, because I think a lot of people, especially married couples, just assume, okay, well, husband can do what he needs to do for wife and vice versa.
Sure.
And maybe that's true to a point, but that's where these legal documents come into play to ensure that they can do what they need to do.
Yes, of course, right.
For their spouse or the child for their parent kind of thing. And then those folks that don't have families, it's even more important.
Yeah.
Because now, if you don't have a son or a daughter or a spouse, who's going to step into these things if you don't have them in place?
Yeah, this is so vital information. It's just so important that people get this taken care of before it hits. So estate planning is about protecting your family, creating peace of mind, and that is priceless. If it's been years since you reviewed your documents, or you've actually just never created a plan at all, there's no worries, no shame. Skipton Law offers free educational workshops to help you get you started, and what I would say is empowered. So just go to their website. It's at skiptonlaw.com or call 720-440-2774 for more info and to sign up for those beautiful free educational classes. Thanks for your why. It makes a big difference in a law firm. It really does.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. They sponsored today's segment.
You know him and you love him. When Colorado and Company returns, we're chatting with Bobby Moynihan all about the fall and rise of Reggie Dinkins. I am so happy Tracy Morgan is back on our screens, and I'm so happy you're still with us on Colorado and Company. Okay, what do you get when you combine Saturday Night Live, 30 Rock, and The Office? The new comedy, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins. Our producer, Colleen, had the chance to catch up with two of the stars, Bobby Moynihan and Erica Alexander.
Oh my gosh, guys, congratulations on this hilarious new show. I love it.
Thank you so much. We do too.
Of course, yes. Erica, I want to start with you. When you first heard about this in the works, what were you like thinking when you said, oh my goodness, I need to be a part of the show?
That didn't happen. They called me and asked me to be a part of the show.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything except for the call. And that's really nice to get. Obviously, they work with people that they know. They did not know, I did not know them. They did not know me personally, but apparently they knew my work. I'd worked with Tracy before. And so I got a call from Robert Carlock and Sam Means and Tina Fey inviting me to be a part of the show. And you pay attention to things like that. That's a really wonderful call to get. And I worked my whole life to get a call like that.
Oh my gosh, congratulations. That's a huge testament to how talented you are. But so congrats, that's amazing. But Bobby, I have to say,
I was the opposite.
I
was the opposite. I heard I
said
they're doing a show with Tracy, and I called my agent like, get me on that show, please. I begged.
True.
Oh, it is.
What?
100%.
I love it. But I have to say, it's so good to see you on TV then, because it had been too long. Too long.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Let's talk about the character Rusty. He's kind of a clueless friend, but also very supportive at the same time. How do you channel that energy of like, hey, I'm here for you?
Rusty knows what he's doing. He just knows if he puts in solid 60%. That's all he's got to do. No expectations for Rusty.
60, baby.
Solid 60, not even 65, not even passing. Just below. He just gotta make sure everyone else is a little bit happier than he is, and he's okay.
Bobby Moynihan is one of the funniest people on earth, and you can see why. This is like all the time.
I'm
just
very
brilliant.
lucky. Well, this show is an embarrassment of riches as far as good people and funny people. We're very lucky.
I love that. Well, no, that leads me to my next question perfectly, because I am crying, laughing on my couch at home when I'm watching this. How do you guys not break it on set? Because I imagine it's impossible.
We do. Every once in a while, Tracy will just say something insane and I'll lose it. Or, also Daniel, like shockingly brilliantly funny.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody has their moments where we all mess around or we're having a good time on set. Definitely.
Absolutely. It's very hard to do scenes with Bobby. They have started pairing in later episodes. Monica and Bobby's character Rusty do a lot together. And what I do is I'm so focused on wanting to get through a take because there's a lot for everyone to do on either side. In a way, it's very sobering. But the truth is, I can't react like Erica. I have to react like Monica. And if I stay in character, then I'm okay. But the minute I sometimes act without looking them in the faces. I'm not even kidding you. I just go like this, Can't look.
And all I do is
so
try and make
smart.
her laugh and make her job harder, and I shouldn't.
I'd have to do the same thing. No eye contact, no eye
Let's
contact,
go
no eye
go
contact.
crazy at the top. Yes.
Okay, but I want both of you to level with me here.
Yes.
How many Harry Potter jokes have been made on set?
Very few.
Very few. I would say my favorite thing to do is to be around him to see how long I can be around him before someone brings it up. It's fascinating because it does come up a lot, but it's usually like a whisper on the side. But not a lot. And also he makes them, or he made a good one recently that just it doesn't come up as much as you would think.
He's very balanced. He actually understands that presence in the world, and he loves it. He invites it. He stopped running away from it. But he himself, Daniel, is a different man. He's not that character.
No.
And because that shines so bright, you quickly forget that.
You also, like, as a father of two kids right now, to meet someone who, like, has the responsibility of literally being the boy wizard that everyone knows, but he is just so capable of, like, when people meet him in real life, he is so good at being like, yes, it is a very cool thing that I was Harry Potter, but also, like, we're both humans. Like, he's just so good at, people like Mark Hamill and Daniel Radcliffe get these things where, like, for the rest of their lives, they are someone else, and they both of them handle it extremely well. I would be a mess.
Yeah.
I would also just be dressed like Harry Potter.
No,
and I would
me
just
too.
be telling
I'd be
kids
living
like
up
real
to
magic. I
I'm
would
a man.
never. That's all I would do.
He knows who he is, and he carries it with really
he's the best.
a lot of grace. But also, he's Daniel Radcliffe, and you see that very quickly.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
a
it, and it
special
definitely
dude.
comes through on screen that he's
Yeah.
Daniel.
And
but
no
also the
one
voice
knows
of it.
Tracy was a wizard when he was born. No one knows this.
He's still a wizard.
Tracy is a real wizard.
What a mystic.
I love it. I love it. Well, we'll be watching on Monday nights, and congrats
Yeah.
again on this fantastic show.
Oh,
Thank you
yes,
so much.
please. Thank you so much.
You can catch new episodes of The Fall and Rise of Reggie Jenkins Monday nights right here on 9 News.
The following interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.
In this week's Healthy Colorado Conversation, the reasons to pull down your pants and pay attention to your body. So Dr. Eben Strobos, colon and rectal surgeon, is here for Common Spirit Health, St. Anthony Hospital. Hello, Doc.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I am very interested in having this conversation. I'm having a colonoscopy this week, my very first.
Good for you.
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
So we are kind of shy, a lot of us, about talking about poop, but we shouldn't be, since colon cancer has become the leading cause of cancer-related death in people under 50, and I'm hearing this left and right. So I'm going to be brave and risk it and break the stigma, everyone. What is a normal poop? First good question.
That's a good question. So, I mean, what's normal for one person is different, is not normal for somebody else.
Got
so
it.
basically, everyone has their own normal.
Okay.
So what you're really looking for is what's not normal in
So what
you.
stands out? I see.
Yeah. So if you start to have black tarry stools, if you start to have blood in your stool, if you start to have diarrhea or obstructive-like symptoms or pencil-thin stools or something along those lines, then you need to get a scope right away. But, it's not just about getting a scope if you have symptoms, because obviously the reason why people under 40 or under 50 are getting colon cancer is because they're not having symptoms and then they're finding it too late. So what's really important is just getting your scope at 45.
No, you're great. I'm getting it at 21, as you can see how I am. I'm just kidding. I'm getting it for, I'm getting it because I want to get checked, and I have someone in the family who had it, so I'm doing it. I'm hoping to break the stigma, like Katie Kirk did. But what kind of changes should we be looking for? You said dark tarry stool. The one I heard most, and especially from James Vanderbeek, is the thin, pencil thin?
Pencil thin stools, So what you have to realize is that, so the colon doesn't have any nerve fibers on the inside.
Oh, okay.
Right? When you start to get the symptoms is when that has gotten big enough that now it's affecting things going through a tube.
I see.
So if it's affecting a stool going through a tube and it's coming out very thin, that means there might be something big in there doing that. Now, it could also be something benign like diverticulitis.
Okay.
Also, if the tumor or the mass starts to outgrow its blood supply, then it starts to, as the stool passes, it starts to rip or cause some bleeding. And so that's why you get the black tarry stools or the blood in the stool.
Wow.
But the problem is that this is like often several years after you first develop a tumor.
Got it.
And so that's why it's so important that we get our scopes early on.
Got it. Because you're already in stage 3 or 4 by.
If you're in stage 3 or stage 4, then you're in trouble and you might not get cured.
Right.
But if you catch in stage 1 or stage 2, you can get a robotic surgery and not have your life change at all, just have some small incisions and have a perfectly normal life after that.
How significant is diet in maintaining a healthy colon? All I've heard is because of the processed food, that's why young people are getting more colon and rectal cancer.
So that could be true. I mean, so basically processed food does add to colon cancer. So things that add to colon cancer are, for example, processed food like sausages, hamburgers, bacon, things, cold cuts, things with nitrates, those will add to it. Or the refined processed food. In other words, it takes the fiber out, right? So refined foods that have a lot of sugar or a lot of carbohydrates that don't have fiber just increase the blood sugar and therefore increase the insulin levels and therefore cause cancers to grow quicker. Fiber, on the other hand, by bulking the stool and keeping the stool at a nice consistency, takes down the inflammation in the colon. Taking down the inflammation in the colon means that there's less inflammation for something to go wrong.
I see.
And for someone to develop a cancer.
Yeah.
So diet is extremely important when it comes to colon cancer.
Okay. There's some other uncomfortable issues that most of us, especially women who have had babies, deal with. We're breaking stigma, people. I'm not going to laugh at this. We've got hemorrhoids. We've got fissures. What are the causes, and can we do anything about it?
Yeah. So. Obviously with women, people they can get hemorrhoids just because the fetus actually sits on the IVC, which goes back to the heart. So since the fetus is sitting there, the blood will look through another way to get to the heart, which is also through the hemorrhoid plexus. And so that's why a lot of women after pregnancy will have hemorrhoids.
Got it.
But generally speaking, that's nothing we can do about that. Generally speaking, hemorrhoids are mucosa filled with blood vessels, and by sitting on a toilet and straining a lot, sitting on a toilet and looking at your phone, that will increase that sort of dependent gravity pressure will increase the size of your hemorrhoids. So you should only go when you have to go. Basically, that's one way to try to reduce your chance of hemorrhoids.
Keep the phone out of the bathroom.
Keep the phone out of the bathroom, yes. And then for fissures too, that can do with constipation. So your stools get very hard, and that hard stool can rip the anus. And once that anus gets ripped, then you have a cut there, and then it's a downward cycle. And so there's creams and surgeries we can do for that. But just generally trying to drink plenty of liquids, try to take fiber again, will decrease your chance of fissures.
Human kindness is what Common Spirit Health is all about. Visit their website and search for hospitals and doctors in your area. Just go to mountain.commonspirit.org. Find more interviews and information on 9news.com/Healthy Colorado. This Healthy Colorado segment is sponsored by Common Spirit Health.
Want to one-up your week? We can help. We've got a cool jacket to give away from the Super Mario Galaxy. That's next on Coco.
Princess, you're going to regret that.
Who says you can't have brunch on the weekdays? Here's an easy, fun recipe for brunch bruschetta, by Christy Rost.
Hi, I'm Christy Rost. Breakfast bruschetta with blueberry compote is an impressive treat for mom's breakfast in bed. But you'll want to hang on to this recipe for beautiful spring and summer brunches too. Traditionally, bruschetta is toasted bread with a savory topping, but today we're making a breakfast version. So I'm using 2 cups of blueberries. These are berries that I froze last summer, but you can use fresh or frozen blueberries. And I have 1/4 cup of sugar and 3 tablespoons of water. I'm going to bring this mixture to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce the heat a bit and simmer it for about 7 to 8 minutes until the berries get soft and the mixture begins to thicken. And then I will remove it from the heat, let it cool, and it will continue to thicken as it cools. While the blueberry compote is cooling, I can make the toast. So I have a rustic loaf of artisan bread that I sliced into 1/2 inch thicknesses. And then I cut each slice in half to make it more manageable to eat. Brush each side of the breads lightly with oil. In this case, I'm using a blood orange infused olive oil, which is going to give it a nice extra layer of flavor to the bruschetta. Then I preheated the oven to 425 degrees. I'll bake these for 5 to 8 minutes on one of the upper racks of the oven, turning the bread halfway through so that each side is golden brown. Once the toasts have cooled, spread each with a thick layer of ricotta or softened cream cheese, just like this. And you know you can make the toasts a day ahead. And so that's a great time saver. And you can also make the blueberry compote 1 or 2 days ahead. Then top the cream cheese with a spoonful of blueberry compote. And make sure you get just a little bit of the juice in there too. And garnish with a sprig of fresh mint. Just gonna put a single leaf there. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Arranged on a platter for Sunday brunch or on a breakfast tray for mom. Breakfast bruschetta with blueberry compote is a delicious way to begin the day. Take care, make some joy.
Okay, that looks amazing. You can find Christy's recipe for breakfast bruschetta and so many more on her website, ChristyRoss.com. You can also buy her Celebrating Home cookbook there too.
I demand that you release my father.
Over my dead body.
Fine with me.
It's a look at the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This star-studded film hits theaters April 1st. That is no joke. We are very excited about it, and we're also excited because we're powering up here on Coco with Super Mario giveaways all week long. We're kicking things off with this Super Mario jacket and card wallet. I mean, wow, how cool are these? My nephew would love this, but he can't win because that would be a conflict of interest. Okay, check this out. Look. It's a cool bomber jacket. Like, these are very, very in right now, and it's got all the characters on the sleeves. Can y'all see that? Oh man, it would fit me perfectly. Okay, all you have to do is enter now by sending an email to mycoco@9news.com. Just put the words Mario Jacket in the subject line. The winner will be chosen at random. Good luck! Thanks for your company, Colorado. Portions of today's program were sponsored by the businesses listed on your screen. The battle is on. Who will save the most lives in By Talent's Battle of the Badges blood drive? That's tomorrow on Colorado and Company. Thanks so much for starting your week with us, Colorado. If you missed any parts of today's show, you can catch the Coco Encore on Channel 20 this afternoon at 3. And you can also catch us on the 9 News Plus app. Have a great day, and y'all be good.